Episode 21, The Stand. The car of the guards, with Tim and Sarah transporting Billy Brennan, had come to a halt after Laura had slammed the brakes. Sliding through the grass, it had left muddy tracks. Regaining her balance after the sudden stop, Sarah returns to support Billy on the floor of the transport compartment. Tim and Dennis, also in the back with them, also sit up straight again after they had slammed against the front of the compartment.
Jeez, Laura, where did you learn to drive?
Raptors, out front!
What do we do?
That same moment, a velociraptor comes screeching out from the jungle to their right, and it jumps onto the side of the transport compartment, slashing with its sickle claws through the cloth covering it, hitting the metallic frame underneath it. With the newly gained grip, it jumps up on top of the cage. In no time, two other raptors join the first, also jumping on top of the transport compartment. Quickly, three more dark brownish raptors come sprinting towards the car, their greenish glowing cat-like eyes reflecting the light of a flash of lightning. These were the ones Laura had seen lurking in front of them. Surrounded now by 6 raptors, Tim noticed number 7 coming from the back of the car, running for the entry of the transport cage. Already holding his tranquilizer gun, he aimed. The raptor jumped up, and Tim fired, hitting target. The raptor went down to the ground, sliding through the grass until it stopped against the back of the car. Dennis moved back towards the entrance to look out at the fallen raptor, right below him. He briefly tried to get up, but then relaxed, sleeping. From the top of the compartment, the cloth was shredded by claws, and the raptor looked growling down at Sarah, who, unarmed, looked back into his eyes of the animal. What she saw confused her, an unnatural kind of hatred she could not explain and had never seen before in any kind of animal. The moment the raptor retracted its head, heavy rain fell through the tears in the top.
Up there!
What are you waiting for, Laura? Get us out of here!
Laura put the car in drive and hit the gas, but nothing happened other than the car sliding a little sideways, bringing the raptors on the transport cage off balance, and 2 of them fell off to the ground.
We're stuck!
Again Laura tried hitting the gas in full, taking down a raptor, passing along the back of the car with splattering mud. Thrown up by the wheels, digging the car deeper into the muddy ground.
Try driving away slowly.
Sid, get back here.
Sydney looks back at Dennis from the back seat.
Okay.
Crawling through the window behind the back seats, Sydney moves to the metallic transport cage. From the passenger seat, Bob looked at a raptor hanging on the right side of the transport area, via the side mirrors. The transport cage rattled loudly. Leaning out of the front window on the side, he tried to aim his gun at the raptor. Just a moment before, Andy saw a raptor coming from the left, his side, on the back seat, and he took aim, but it ran out of scope too soon.
Bob, look out!
But it was too late. The raptor Andy saw coming from the left had jumped over the engine block and grabbed Bob's arm between its teeth, dragging Bob out. Screaming in pain as he went through the window opening, quickly finished off by the raptor's claws. In horror, Andy moved over the back seat to the right, and now takes aim at the raptor, firing a dart into its neck, and it drops on top of the fallen guard, and lays silent outside the car. Guards Sydney and Dennis in the transport compartment were firing darts at raptors around him. They had hit 2 raptors and missed a third. With 4 raptors down, one of the raptors started barking, and in seconds the attack was over as suddenly as it had begun. The remaining 3 raptors retreated back to the cover of the jungle. Silence returned, but for the hammering rain on the car.
Are they gone?
I think so.
Let me get Bob inside. We can't leave him out here.
Hesitating guard Laura looks around and then opens her driver's side door. She holds her hand out to feel the rain falling down. Other than that, nothing happened. The jungle line stayed without activity. She gets out, not caring about getting wet, and walks around the front towards the other side of the car, where Bob lays, his blood coloring the grass black on the dark ground. Guard Andy also got out, dragging the raptor off the fallen guard, and together with Laura they lift Bob's body, moving him inside the car onto the back seat. Guard Dennis looks around, then towards Sydney and calls out to the front.
Andy, get over here. Laura, get ready. We're going to have to push. Sid, come on.
He climbs out the back of the cage, followed by Sydney. Laura ran again back to the driver's seat to get ready. Andy walks around to the transport cage towards the back of the car. The raptor lying there, shot by Tim, started moving, growling softly. That startled Dennis, who aimed and fired 3 more darts into the animal.
Jeez, Dennis. Careful, you kill it.
As long as it's kept from killing me. Help me get this thing out of the way.
Together, guards Andy, Dennis and Sydney drag the body of the raptor away from the place they need to stand to push.
Ready, Laura?
Yeah, ready.
Try it.
Laura fired up the engine.
Push, guys.
They get splattered with mud as the wheels of the car start turning around. Then the car takes grip and shoots forward a bit. 3 guards fall face first into the mud. Guard Laura stops the car a little ahead and gets out. Walking to the back, looking back at her 3 teammates covered in mud. Laughing in the rain, she watches them scrambling back onto their feet. Then Sarah notices something through the shredded cloth on the side of the transport cage. Movement.
Guys, I think you better get back in.
Screaming, the 3 raptors charge from the jungle line again.
No.
Shh! Guard Dennis makes for the back of the car, while Sydney and Andy get their guns ready, firing. Laura runs back towards the driver's seat, pulling at the door to get it open. Succeeding right in the moment, one of the raptors came at her from the front, slamming against the just opened door. By its weight, it slams the door partly closed again, blocking the way for Laura, who stumbles backwards. She looks into the car, with the gun she left inside. As the raptor regains his position, it growls mean at her. But as she looks down, trying to get the clip off of her sidearm holster, she realizes she's too late, and the raptor jumps her the moment she looks back up. Guards Andy and Sydney, out of darts, now took to their pistols too. Together firing into nothingness, missing the raptors before Andy is pulled down by his arm by one of the raptors.
Ah, it's grabbed hold of me. Ah.
Right next to Sydney, who is stunned for a split second before he is taken down too by another raptor. Seeing Dennis moving in on the transport compartment, the raptor that took down Laura looks up, and just before Dennis reaches the cage, the raptor jumps on top of the transport cage with ease, and then it jumps down on Dennis, dragging him out of the cage again. Tim fires a dart into that nearest raptor, which looks up and relaxes on top of the unmoving body of the guard. Too late to save him. None of the guards now standing, the car not moving, and Tim having 1 dart left, he looks at the 2 remaining raptors that finished off Andy and Sydney. Quickly, he snaps out of the confusion from the havoc they're in. He turns to look at Sarah. "We have to move, you drive!" Sarah, partly in shock by the sudden turn of events, looks down at Billy, who lost consciousness. The 2 remaining raptors now looked up at the car and came running towards them. Growling, one of them jumped up. Sarah looked up at it through the slashes in the cloth and decided. Quickly she climbed through the small window, separating the cage from the back seat. She pushes Bob's dead body to roll off the back seat onto the floor in between,
I'm sorry, Bob.
and climbs over to the front seat. In the transport cage, Tim fought off the second raptor, hitting it with the back of the tranquilizer gun, keeping it out of the compartment. Sarah leaned out of the driver's seat door to grab the open door, and slammed it shut.
Hold on!
The raptor on top looks back at the sound of the door, when the engine starts and the car slowly takes off, to keep grip on the muddy grass. The raptor keeps its balance on the roof of the cage, snarling. It looks down to see the barrel of the tranquilizer gun that Tim is holding, pointed at him through the rooftop. Tim, holding onto the side of the cage with one hand, fires his last dart, hitting the raptor in the chest. It growls, but only a moment after, the raptor's eyes move up in its sockets, and it tumbles off and slams to the ground behind the car, which is picking up speed, driving back into the jungle again. Looking back, Tim doesn't see the last raptor following, and after he is certain, he calls at Sarah. "We're clear, you know the way?"
Kinda hoping it's a straight road from here on to the village.
And they drive off onto the jungle road, into the dark jungle. After about 10 minutes speeding over the jungle road, Sarah Harding had stopped the car again, their engine still running, and now both she and Tim were overlooking a cove, with down below a river flowing, leading in what they guessed was the northern direction. On the opposite bank of the river, they looked through a gorge, leading through part of the island with ocean beyond.
Okay, that road didn't lead to the village. How's he doing back there?
Still breathing, Billy was still unconscious. To the left, they were looking at the ocean north of the island, where Tim spotted a ship that had made its way between the islands, traveling north-northeast. It looked like a transport boat to Tim. A supply ship? Then something caught his attention. He squinted to sharpen his gaze. Sarah was more focused on the ocean beyond the gorge, across the river on the right, east side of the island. She was seeing a fleet of military vessels approaching in the distance, going south. Flight deck ships surrounded by 5 frigates. Squinting, she noticed 2 army helicopters lifting off from the flight deck ship. Following the direction of the 2 army helicopters leading south, her eyes came to rest on walls, towering just slightly over the jungle line. The walls surrounding the controlled area.
I see the village. I know the direction we need to go.
Wait! Tim had picked up binoculars, which one of the guards had left in the transport compartment. He was looking closer at the supply ship.
Something wrong?
I thought I saw something.
What?
And Tim doesn't respond. She looks around and finds another pair of binoculars lying on the passenger side floor. She picks it up. There, one of those round windows near the bow. Tim lowers the binoculars to give his to Sarah for her to look. Then sees she already has binoculars of her own, already looking at the ship.
Which window?
Third from the front, Tim also looks again. There. Did you see it?
Is that? Oh my god.
So you do. I'm not crazy or paranoid. Through the binoculars they're seeing dark shapes behind the windows, jumping up and down and running past. But they are playing. Shapes of raptors.
We've got to call this in.
Both are looking around, finding nothing. I guess the guards had the radio on them when...
Then we better hurry. The sooner we can get in contact with that boat, the better. These raptors must not reach the mainland.
Sarah turns the car and drives off in the direction of the village, speeding up.